So RFK was, as I just mentioned, confirmed officially. The vote was 52-48, I believe. At the end of it, it's funny watching the counter. It like dips down and dips up, and so that's where it ended. And I just want to remind everyone, at the opening of his confirmation hearing back in January, he's been saying it, repeating it on the stage all across the country, is just like, we are sick. We are a very sick nation. And what we're doing right now is not working, and we need a change. Watch.
Today, Americans' overall health is in grievous condition. Over 70% of adults and a third of children are overweight or obese. Diabetes is 10 times more prevalent than it was during the 1960s. Cancer among young people is rising by 1 or 2% a year. Autoimmune diseases, neurodevelopmental disorders, Alzheimer's, asthma, ADHD, depression, addiction, and a host of other physical and mental health conditions are all on the rise, some of them exponentially.
And when you get to look at, like, how did we become so unhealthy? How did that happen? How are we so sick? Why is it that every time I go to, dailymail.com, there's another article about this young, healthy, super fit yoga instructor who got cancer? It's like, how did we get there? Because when you look at the top 5 countries with healthcare costs, there it is with all of the industrialized countries. There we are at the very tippy top there at 12,742. And, you can go down the line, but we're spending twice the global average. But we're not amongst the healthiest countries. Because if you want to look at the top 5 healthiest countries, you've got Singapore, Japan, South Korea, Taiwan, Israel, and then the U.S. not at the 6th, but the 74th. That's abysmal, you guys. Now, you look at all of these agencies that RFK is about to be the head honcho of, and you look at things like the CDC, which obviously needs complete reform. You look at things like the FDA, which, I read this deep dive of all of the issues within the FDA. It's like the FDA repeatedly failed to take timely action on a wide range of safety and health issues the agency has been aware of for several years, including dangerous pathogens found in water used to grow produce, heavy metal contamination in baby foods, the PFAS, the PFAS substances. These are like the forever chemicals. They create this carbon fluorine bond that allows them to accumulate over time into bodies of animals, of people. It's just accumulating. They're not removing those, right? And you look at what is in our food and how sick it's making us. You look at like fast food, if you look at the same menu items in this country and then abroad, sometimes they're like twice as salty, twice the sodium levels, double the sodium levels in the United States as they are abroad. McDonald's 4-piece chicken nugget, 117% higher in the US than the UK. That's insane. Same company. That is insane. Burger King, kids hamburger, 18% higher in the US than the UK. Subway, meatball marinara sandwich. I don't know why the hell you'd want to get a meatball sandwich, and I don't know why you'd want to go to Subway. But if you did, it would be 58% higher in the United States than the UK. And when you maybe say, oh, well, it's just a little bit of salt. Well, excessive sodium consumption is linked to thousands of premature deaths in the US. Like, that's linked to major health problems. So you look at all of this and you know that the FDA took so long to recommend and adopt lower sodium levels in packaged and prepared foods. They had a study. The American Heart Association concluded that if the food and restaurant industries would have adopted the lower sodium levels presented in FDA's proposed 2-year and 10-year targets on the schedule, nearly 265,000 lives could have been saved between 2017 and 2031. They've also estimated that high sodium intake causes as many as 100,000 deaths from heart disease and stroke each year in the United States. These people have literally been killing us. Now, I realize I'm going off on a tangent here, guys, but if you will allow me just a few more points to make, and I would love to hear your thoughts on this. Something about our government poisoning its own citizens just riles me up, okay? Natural sweeteners that they have in this country are not much different than the artificial sweeteners It's just the trickery in the language that they use, because when you look at the chemical composition of some of these sweeteners, they're like incredibly similar. And so you have these artificial sweeteners that are linked to obesity, type 2 diabetes, strokes, dementia. But they're like, but it's a Diet Coke. It's okay because it says diet. It doesn't have natural sugar in it. Well, no, because the artificial sweeteners are still causing an insulin response in your body. So you think that you're doing something healthy for yourself. It's 0 calorie. You're not. You're not. It's still causing the insulin response in your body. And then, of course, the fluoride. Okay? From our friend Stuart Cooper at the Fluoride Action Network, who I interviewed on this program, the National Toxicology Program published a systematic review of fluoride neurotoxicity, and it concluded that a large body of research linked to fluoride exposures to lowered IQ in children. I've been saying this for years, and they're like, that's not true. Prove it. Well, here it is. Out of 74 studies on fluoride and the brain, 89% found neurotoxicity. Now, couple that with the NIH. There's another one. The NIH, the National Institute of Health, has funded 10 studies on fluoride and the brain, and all 10 linked fluoride exposures to brain harm. Yet they are still putting it in your water. The CDC and the EPA admitted that there is 0 benefit to the fetus or bottle-fed infants because, that's what they said. It's like, oh, well, they need it for their teeth. It makes their teeth stronger. No, they've already said that there's 0 benefit to a fetus or to bottle-fed infants because they have no teeth. There is literally only risk. That's it. You've got evidence of overexposure. 70+% of teens in the United States have visible signs of overexposure with dental fluorosis because they were overexposed to fluoride during infancy and childhood because they're putting it in your freaking water. So you look at all of this. You look at the fact that there is a fluoride alternative. There is a fluoride alternative. I might not try to say it. Hydroxyapatite, okay? 70% of your bones by weight is that. And we synthesize it into hydroxyapatite, which can be used to remineralize your teeth the same way as fluoride, but without the neurological risk. They don't care. I could go on, but these are just a few of the issues I could go on to the fact when you turn out a package at the grocery store and you look at it and you're like, oh, it says natural flavors. Those don't necessarily have to be natural because the FDA doesn't make them actually tell you, well, it might have started out as natural, but it's undergone so much chemical processing, so much, and you have absolutely no idea what they did to that. But they just can put natural flavors on. It is insane what they are doing to this. So to everyone who wants to say, RFK is making us sicker, really? You think we can get much sicker than we already are now? What do you say we let someone else have a chance, have a crack at this? Because what you guys are doing isn't freaking working. If you like this clip and you want to see the full episode, click here. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, come on, you know you do. Click here.